Welcome to My Favorite Mistake. I'm Mark Graven, and our guest today is AlexAnndra Ontra. She is a president and co-founder of a company called Shufflrr. AlexAnndra is blazing a trail in the emerging new discipline of presentation management, so we'll have a chance to talk about that today. I do a lot of presentations, and there are challenges that I can think of, and it'll be good to hear about what larger companies are doing, what problems they're solving with this technology. Shufflrr visualizes your company's content so you can find, see, and read through and get that one great slide or file when you need it. So that's, I think, an interesting challenge and reason for being. But AlexAnndra, first off, thank you for being here as a guest. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Nice to be here, Mark.
So we'll have a chance to talk about presentations and the company, but we'd like to dive right in, as I know you've heard from listening to some other episodes. Thinking back, AlexAnndra, what would you say is your favorite mistake?
My favorite mistake, or my biggest mistake, or my hardest mistake, I think they're all intertwined. Um, I would have to say it was borrowing money from my mother to start and fund a technology company.
Oh, wow. Tell us,
Yeah.
tell us about that. Why? What
Well,
happened? Why did you think that was? Why did it turn out to be a mistake?
it turned out to be a mistake. Initially, it was a mistake because we did this in about, we've been in, I should just allow, my brother is my co-founding partner and business partner. Um, and, when we started back in 2002 doing presentation technology, we had a consulting business, software and services, doing high-end presentation technology. And we also designed, wrote, animated the presentations. It was, soup to nuts, full service. Um, and, like any new business starting out, we needed funds. And so we took a loan from our mother, and things were going swimmingly. And we paid her interest monthly. So it worked well for her because she was retired. So this way she had a nice monthly income. Everybody was happy. And then the Great Recession hit, the market crashed, and we just had reading everywhere.
Mm.
And clients were leaving. I was paying to go to work. I had no money to pay her back, um, and it weighed really heavily on me. But I couldn't leave. I couldn't just quit because it was my mother's money. I didn't want to be the kid that squandered her mother's money. And, especially, with tech companies, Silicon Valley, it's try really hard. And if you fail, okay, you can start another company. And having a bunch of startups tends to be a badge of honor. Unfortunately for me, that wasn't a badge I could wear. I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point she even said, Alex, if this is too hard, we'll work something out. Go get a job, go do something else, and we'll figure it out. So she gave me, the okay, she released me essentially. But I just thought to myself, the best way to pay her back is to keep building this company. So we stuck with it. And, here we are another 10 years later, 20 years later, doing the same thing. And we have Shufflrr, and it's thriving, and it's really exciting. It's probably, for me, after doing this for 20 years, one of the most exciting periods of our journey.
Yeah. Wow. So when you were looking at starting the company originally, I mean,
Hmm.
did you pursue some of the traditional ways of getting funded? It sounds like you had a single angel investor in your mom. I mean, what
we,
else
you
did you
know,
consider at the time?
we did. We pitched like angel. We went to those pitching events, and we talked to various VC and angel investors. And the interesting thing is, they have a formula which works for them, and it's usually invest in 10 companies. One or two will knock it out of the park, and the other ones, well, we can shut down because we've made our money back and we've given our investors a return. So that works for him. For those other 8 companies, if you're the founder who's put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, you're left with nothing, and you have to start over. And starting over is never a bad thing. It gives you endless possibility. Um, but we took the other approach, and also what kept us going was that, even though we didn't have that hockey stick trajectory that investors look for, we had steady growth. Some days when it was really hard and I was like, oh, we're running at a loss, we're losing money, and then we would get ESPN as a customer, or we would get Scripps Networks as a customer, and I would think to myself, okay, that'll get us through. But if these companies want to use our product, if they want to use Shufflrr, if they want to use PPT Share, that was the precursor to Shufflrr, then we're doing something right. So it just, we ended up building the company old school, one client at a time, and we constantly tweaked our service based on their feedback and their input, and them telling us what they needed. So we ended up with a much stronger product. We have more equity in our business. Um, and, we're kind of leading the category of presentation management, one client at a time over a very long time. Steady, slow and steady wins the race.